What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, as many of you do know, Project Quantum or QBIT has been absolutely flying recently. With recent BitBoy video and all of that good stuff, we have been seeing the price absolutely climbing. Well, many of you do know that the very first video that we posted on them was on July 28th, in which we talked about Project Quantum, and then we went to later on interview their CEO and bring up much more information on the channel. Well, I wanted to show you what the price has done since then, the amount of gains in which it's seen since then, why that has been, and what we can expect going forward as they are really just getting started. Well, when we posted that video again, it was on July 28th. Since July 28th, we have seen the price climb up to 1,300% to this day, at one point being up all the way 2,560% before seeing a little bit of a pullback. Well, as many of you do know, we do a lot of technical analysis on this channel, but in today's video, we are just going to do some brief technical analysis. I want to show you all why this is a very, very healthy climb and a great thing for the future of QBIT, and then we'll go ahead and some more news and look at some more information and things of that nature. So the reason I say that this is incredibly healthy is going to be based off of our Fibonacci retracement levels. Now, when we look at big climbs like this, something that happens quite often is that the price does something like this, where it's smashing through levels, it's never really establishing support, it's never running into resistance, and realistically, when a price does something like that, and it gets this extended, going up thousands of percentages, that is typically speaking going to be very hard to maintain. It's really unhealthy, and truly the ability for that to continue is very limited, okay? But what we're seeing from QBIT right now is a very healthy climb. Now, the reason in which we can say that is going to be if, for example, we take our swing high from up here. Again, I'm just going to keep it very simple for those of you who aren't super big into technical analysis. And if we go just from our swing high down to our swing low, and basically what this is going to be is our highest point here from this big impulsive move to the lowest point in which it did create. Now, if we go down to our 4-hour charts, what we can see is that the price has been interacting with these levels over and over and over again. So what that tells me is that as it does see these interactions, as it does start to run into resistance and support and resistance and support in some of these key areas, that provides us with the information to know that the price is still reacting to very important levels, which means that it is healthily moving. Even if it's seeing a massive growth like that, it's doing it in a very healthy way. Now, one thing you can see here is that throughout this big climb, for example, on September 11th and up to the 13th and the 14th, we can see that the price started to climb and was running into some of these resistance levels. It would come back down, establish some support, run into resistance, and we would see that these key Fibonacci extension levels were engaged. We were seeing them actually being used through this price climb. Even right here, for example. But what we noticed is that through this little move right here, we saw just a smashing through of our Fibonacci levels. Boom, smash through, smash through, smash through. And typically, once we start to ignore some of these key levels of resistance, it means we're probably getting a little bit extended, and we're going to have to come back down to establish some structure, which is exactly what we are doing right now. We're now coming back down to establish some structure and create a healthy growth pattern. Because do remember, the management and the team behind this project are looking at this in a very long-term perspective. They're not worried about what the price is doing right now. They're focused on making sure that they are delivering the product and delivering the progress that will then further incentivize people to buy over the long term as they do get this game out over due time. So right now, we're not worried about, we're not worried about seeing that the price is able to climb. As investors, that's not going to be what we need to focus on. What we need to focus on is going to simply be how can we allow this thing to healthily grow as the company itself grows in another healthy fashion as well. And so the fact that we are seeing that has been absolutely amazing, because realistically, that's not something you see all the time from new cryptos. Many a time you will see that the price is just simply going to go up and up and up and up and then just crash because it never interacted with any key levels. And so the fact that we're seeing that is incredibly important. We've seen that in the past. Even off this big first run up that we saw, if we go swing high down to swing low, let's go ahead and get that put in. You can see that we engaged with all of these levels. We came back up to our 3.618, found some resistance, came back down, back tested support at the 2.618, lost it, came to the 1.618, saw a bounce between these two levels before an explosion to the upside. That's healthy retracement. That's healthy price movement. And seeing healthy price movement from a crypto that is still this young is not that common. And so that's definitely a great sign for the long-term potential of QBIT. So one of the main reasons in which we have been seeing this absolutely insane growth is going to be due to the true progress and development in which the team is going going through. Like, they are doing an absolutely amazing job in getting some of this information out and getting some of the progress that they are making out so that their investors can see that what they're putting their money into is what they are actually getting. And so I wanted to kind of just quickly look through. So this is on the Discord and their pinned messages in the character development channel. And you can see just how much progress they're making, right? So just on August 11th, about a month and a week ago, we can see that they were working on some of the development, having some basic sketches put up and things of that nature. And just over the last few weeks, they have been making massive steps in getting the colors implemented and getting the true designs implemented. And we can see from this example that they're making massive progress in getting the true development of these characters, for example, put together. And so that once people are starting to get interested in this game, once new investors such as the people from BitBoy Crypto's channel and all of these people can come in and see that they are actually providing the product, they are in the creation of what they promise they will. And as this does happen, of course, that's super beneficial to QBIT, because QBIT's true utility case will come from a lot of the game. And so as they are creating the game, and we can see that it is going to be on par with some of those high tier games that have come out recently, we can see that that is going to be incredibly beneficial for where the future of QBIT goes from here. Now we can also see some more of these, just character progress and progressions that they have made in terms of the thought processes they go through the development of their characters. So of course, these are going to be some developments of how they are going to implement some of these characters into the game, what the characters will look like, or the different aspects will look like. This is, for example, Amelia, and we actually do have a video of Amelia in a second here, but you can see some of the references. It looks like they're going off the idea of a jellyfish, kind of an upside down jellyfish look in which they can create this character here. Now, if we do actually jump back out, they did provide us with a video right here. Let's go ahead and let's play this real quick. And you can see how they're already starting to engage it. They're seeing how they're going to make some of the movements, how some of these different aspects are going to play in and tie together. And I love the fact that we can just simply see how much progress they are making already, especially to be such a new crypto. And so we can see some of these things, just some of this reference imagery of how they're going to create these different characters and create these different aspects of the game. For example, with this one that represent personas, so having like the evil characters or the evil aspects of the games and things like that. We can also see some of these different drones in which they're referencing, so we can see how they're going to develop some of these other aspects in terms of, some of the drones, robotics, and things like that. And then furthermore, you can see just some of the textures and how they're going to be using different textures again to be able to create a much more surreal experience, and not everything's just going to be flat and things of that nature. So it's incredible to see the development in which they are making. It's incredible to see the steps that they're taking to even provide people with things like this, right? We can see that they are creating these different weapons, and they're talking, or these weapons and these characters, and they're talking about how all of this is going to be implemented within the game, right? How are we going to see, the feet, for example, with turret mode ability, or the legs with crouch and jump, right arm with reload speed plus armor plating, and things like that, where we can start to understand how this is going to be implemented within the game itself. It shows that they are putting a massive amount of thought into this thing. It shows that they are putting a massive amount of detail into each and every aspect of the game itself. And going forward, this is going to prove to be very, very beneficial for their project. And just even with this one, for the scout, you can see how they're going to have different perks, different aspects, and different things within the game that will, even just get people excited to be able to finally see all of this in action. Because we can see all of these characters and we can see all of these designs, and we're going to know what they're going to be capable of, and it'll even further incentivize people to want to check this thing out before the game itself does come out. Because what they're doing right now is making such good progress, it ensures that they are actually going to deliver on this product. Now, even if we do look at this, they are releasing some different NFTs, which is just another cool aspect of the business itself, in which we will see some of these different areas of the game, characters and worlds and things like that being able to be implemented within NFTs, which again will just create another aspect of the ecosystem. That's something Fraser did talk about within our interview about 3 weeks ago now, in which we talked about how they are creating a massive ecosystem based around the game itself. And as it does go forward, it is only going to create a sense of communion within the people who are interested in the game, because there's so many different aspects that will bring people together, and I absolutely love that. So going forward, based off of all the progress we've seen just from the last video, mind you all, everything we talked about today is just from the last video that we made on them. They still have loads and loads and loads more coming forward. So one thing they have been doing is increasing their marketing activity, especially of course with what we've seen just from YouTube and all Twitter, and we've been seeing a lot more of a campaign there. And I love to see that from them, because it does mean that people are going to start to be able to see what they are doing. People are going to be able to see the progress that they are making. And a crypto as strong as, with fundamentals as strong as QBIT, I think that that is going to be incredibly beneficial, because it's going to just bring more eyes to a project that's already making progress, instead of bringing eyes to a project that's making a bunch of promises that they're not delivering on, right? If you're doing marketing on a project when you have no progress, I think it's kind of pointless. But once you get a lot of progress in and people can see the developments that are happening, doing marketing for people to be able to get in early is very important, and I'm very excited about that. So of course we have been seeing prototyping, core mechanics, and world building happening, and then in Q4 we can see that there will be more development, but we will see that consolidate prototypes and begin production in full will be absolutely massive, because that just means even more development, even more progress, which I think means, in my opinion, even more investors. And then last but not least, we can see listing of Project Quantum token on other major exchanges, which helps in many different ways, but I like listing on major exchanges because of accessibility for those different investors who are paying attention to QBIT, who it may not be listed on their favorite exchange. When we do see these different listings on new exchanges, that just means that even more people have access to it, which will of course be inherently incredibly valuable for QBIT. So with that being said, as you can see guys, that this project has been doing absolutely amazing. Even when the price does run up and come back down, as we are seeing right here, even if it was to trail back down a little bit before continuing up in the future, I still believe that they are making some of the absolute best progress that we have seen from many cryptos that have come out this year, and I cannot wait to see what the future does hold. So of course, if you guys do want more information, if you guys do want to stay even more up to date with this one, definitely let me know in the comment section. But with that being said, I will keep you guys as up to date as I possibly can when they see big moves, when they see big developments, and everything else of that nature. So with that being said, again, I hope you guys did have a good day. I hope you have a great weekend, and with that, I will see you all very soon. Peace.